What's up, my friend? Abby here, and welcome back to Ask Abbie, where I answer your writing questions and help you make your story matter. Today's question comes from Joshua. First off, thanks for all the work you do to bring this information and advice to us. It's a huge help and inspiration. I have a question about creating characters in a series. I understand the concepts of desire, fear, and misbelief, but I'm not exactly sure how to balance or prioritize them throughout the series. I guess my question is, how do you know which misbeliefs to challenge first? How would you approach them in a way that keeps each book from feeling repetitive? I hope that makes sense. Thanks in advance. That is a great question. It's definitely easier said than done to keep your characters learning and growing and facing new conflicts throughout a series. The important thing to remember is this: our beliefs and insights change, but our personalities stay the same. And personalities are often just a combination of strengths and weaknesses. So even if your character goes on a journey in book one and has an aha moment and crushes their misbelief, they still have challenges to face because they still have strengths and weaknesses. That means with each new book, they will face new challenges because of who they are as a character. And this is the fun part to me because this is where you get to play with different types of character arcs. So maybe in book one, your MC follows a character arc of self-discovery and she overcomes a fatal flaw. But then book two forces her to confront a deep-seated fear that she hasn't conquered yet. And maybe she doesn't change for the better at the end of book two. Maybe she dives headlong into a disaster, and then book three is the arc of her overcoming challenges to redeem herself. The key to making each book feel not repetitive is pretty simple. It's basically something has to change. Bring the characters on a journey and leave them in a new place emotionally. That's it. Seriously. Don't overcomplicate it. So I'm in the midst of co-writing a series with my sister Kate, and as I am outlining and gathering ideas for future books, I keep returning to this concept of strengths and weaknesses. Because even though the characters are learning and growing and overcoming fears, they always have those strengths and weaknesses. They always have those things that they're really good at and then those things that they're susceptible to. Once you develop their personality and you establish those strong points and those weak points, the story kind of writes itself because you have these super flawed, super conflicted characters who have so much to learn. And each book can take them on that learning journey in a different way. That's part of what makes a cast of characters interesting to watch as they interact with each other. When each character is known for something, whether it is their fears, their vices, their virtues, it creates that opportunity for humor and relationship building between the characters, rather than just everyone being a little boring cardboard cutout with the same exact stakes. I like to call this the WWW rule. Giving each character a weapon, a weakness, and a want. These are fundamental elements of your character, meaning they never change that much. They are what defines your character. For example, let's say you have a character whose weapon is that they are strong, self-confident, and assertive. Maybe their weakness is that they lose their temper easily and have a hard time being vulnerable with others. Their fundamental want is to feel safe and protected, both physically and emotionally. These are fundamentals at your character's core, which means even if they go on a transformative journey and change as a result, they will still have these core characteristics. Also, that example I just gave is taken from the description for the Enneagram Type 8, which reminds me that the Enneagram is a great springboard, is a great tool to create characters that have this weapon, weakness, want embedded in their core. Because just like in real life, we might change and grow and adopt new beliefs and learn new things, but we're always fundamentally kind of the same. We always return to pretty much the same personality. Now, there are different levels to each Enneagram type, ranging from healthy to unhealthy, which can also be really helpful when developing longer character arcs, especially character arcs that kind of stretch over the course of an entire series. And these transformations may be for better or maybe for worse. For example, let's look at the differences between the healthy Enneagram 8 the average Enneagram 8, and the unhealthy Enneagram 8. This is taken from psychologyjunkie.com. Healthy 8s prove their strength through action, protecting others, and bringing out others' strengths. They let go of the belief that they always have to be in control of their environment, which lets them look inwards to their hearts. They are strategic, decisive, and resourceful. Average 8s are plagued by the feeling that people aren't loyal or respectful to them, so they try to convince others of how important they are. They can be boastful, willful, and proud. They are typically shrewd and efficient at getting what they want. Competitive and formal, they are guarded of their true feelings. Unhealthy 8s feel like people are turning against them, so they feel betrayed and scared to trust anyone. They feel they must protect themselves at all costs. They can become vengeful, confrontational, and intimidating. They may go on rampages, destroying their relationships, and even possibly becoming violent. So you can definitely get creative with this. Don't feel like you have to follow the Enneagram descriptions to the letter. Absolutely not. Every person is unique and doesn't exactly perfectly fit into a type, just like every character is unique and doesn't perfectly fit into a type. But it would be worthwhile to write your own descriptions of these healthy, unhealthy, average versions of your character's personality. What would they look like at their best? What would they look like at their worst? What would they look like somewhere in between, kind of struggling between healthy and unhealthy? This will help you to create that longer character arc that overarches your entire series and makes your characters feel human and real. So remember the WWW rule. Weapon, weakness, want. Give each character something that they have strength in and weakness in. This is what makes us feel like we know these characters, we can fall in love with them and relate to them, and it creates great opportunity for banter as well, which is essential for me. Boom, hopefully that answers your question, Joshua. If you all watching this video right now, if you would like to ask a question for Ask Abbie, there are 2 ways to do that. First way is to hit the join button below this video and get inside the YouTube community. Post your question in the Ask Abbie post inside the community. Second way is to go to my Patreon, patreon.com/AbbieEmmons, get inside the Inner Circle Facebook group and post your question there. Just make sure you hashtag it Ask Abbie so that I see it. Smash that like button if you liked this video, and be sure to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, because I post writing videos every Wednesday and weekend, and I would love to have you here in the community. Until next week, my friend, rock on.
Have a sub-character that's like, they're a strong character in the story. They have backstory, they have internal conflict, they have a goal of their own. That's what's going to connect the reader to that sub-character on a whole nother level that might even propel you into writing additional books or writing an additional series or film.